Hey, Kenny, how's it going?
I wish I could say it was going better. I apologize for being late.
Nah,
Uh,
you.
there's this little thing, man, you might not know about banks. They'll let you put the money in, but when you want to come and take a lot out,
I,
they got a problem with that.
I believe you. I believe you. No need to apologize. I understand things come up, so I just appreciate you giving me the time of hopping on and giving me your time to interview you.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. So first, before we start talk about what's going on, what you're doing now and currently in boxing, I kind of want to get into a little bit of your story. So, you're originally from Cleveland, Ohio, correct?
Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you grew up around 70s, 80s, right?
I was a kid running around in the '80s.
All right. How was life in Cleveland in the 80s back in those days?
'70s and '80s, man, it was rough, very rough. Rough. I grew up in a rough city. I grew up in the inner city. I grew up in the ghetto. And every day when I went out my door, just to get to school, to learn how to read and write, I had to fight every day.
Wow. Oh, so
Yeah.
you got mixed up in the streets? You were you know in
No,
there.
I had to go through the streets to get to school.
Oh, okay. All right, all right.
So, so I mean, by the grace of God, I never became like the drug dealer or the gang member or any of that stuff. But just to get there, you had to go through those guys
Yeah.
to
Wow.
get to where you were going. So I can remember as early as I can remember as before starting school getting robbed, and then I can remember as early as elementary school, second grade getting robbed. You
Wow.
know, we're talking about guys that had mustaches and were driving cars, pulling up on little kids going to school, grabbing them, telling them, "Give me all your money,
Wow.
whatever you got."
That
You know,
so you had like 50 cents a dollar and they were taking it from you?
not me, buddy. I fought every time, every time, every time,
That's interesting. Wow.
every time.
That wasn't a bit traumatic, you having to fight grown men on your way to school?
Well, actually, the way they did it, they had a system, and yeah, it's a rough thing to deal with. But I was born into that. It wasn't like I'm already telling you is before I started school, I was already dealing with it, so I was used to these things, right? So
Mhm.
wherever I came from, if I moved to a different neighborhood, if they thought they were tough and they were bad, you know, you probably ain't no better than the guys I just dealt with. So let's go. But no, they had a system, and the system was they would send a younger kid, you know, to grab you and hold you for them, or whatever they planned on doing. But they had a system. They use a younger kid to snatch you up, to grab you, hold you, or a couple of younger kids. That way they don't catch whatever case it is going on with
I got
it. So, but yeah, they were 10 feet away, watching and waiting for the money to be delivered to them, given to them in those situations.
you.
I fought. I didn't. I never gave it up.
And,
I
and, thi-
fought.
this went on all the way up until high school, or did things slow down then?
Nah, the the people changed, and the type of activities they had changed. So it went from you know these guys back then. We talking mid '70s to early '80s. These guys back there. It went from them stealing purses to now selling drugs. So they didn't do the little stuff like, rob kids and take money off kids anymore. They doing the other stuff like selling the drugs. So, it just moved on. So now you got to walk to school, but you got to go past drug dealers,
I got you. I got you.
and you got to go past somebody that's offering you a drug or trying to make you sell a drug or do a drug or whatever they wanted you to do to be involved with what they had going on.